and they moved away to Ruskin, and Bobby wanted to learn to be a pilot too, and his dad let him fly small planes, and he crashed one. High school maybe or something? I don't know, crashed, and that, of course, his parents were never the same again. It's really sad, Bobby. Our parents in the neighborhood believed in alliteration. Mike McGee, Bobby Bones, Greg Grounds. You know, you had to, otherwise you couldn't live there. It was like a rule at Raytown. The Raytown Rouge Jays. Oh gosh, those were those early years, 1st through 6th grade. It was like a lifetime of living and doing stuff.
Greg and I used to, we used to walk uptown in the middle of the winter just because there are a lot of cars in the Thriftway parking lot. So we, you know, when you drive a car, you know that cluggy looking snow that gets built up behind your wheels?
It sticks to the car?
We used to love to kick that off cars. But we'd walk through the Thriftway parking lot in 3rd grade and kick those off.
But you know, let's go kick some clubs.
But that's not the only thing we did. You know how when it snows and the snow gets kind of crusty on top? That was perfect snow for dinosaur heads. We used to, we were infatuated with dinosaurs back then, and we cut out dinosaur heads in the crusty snow, and you could actually, after you cut them out with your hand, you could actually have them and eyes and everything. And I remember my dad finding them in the freezer, big old dinosaur heads.
We were crazy for playing Army then too, and we'd make up these bizarre stories, like that brick retaining wall by my parents' house. We'd pretend like that was the depot. We'd go in and say, pick out your weapons, and we'd like hit a brick and pretend like our guns popped out of it. And we had this one deal, we played between the houses, a conning tower of a submarine had broken off, and we'd gotten it and strapped torpedoes on the sides. And then we created our own weapons. There was a grenade. We figured the most powerful grenade would be one 99 times as strong. So we'd say, throw me a 99, and we'd throw it at the enemy and stuff. And we were just always playing Army. We played Army
around the clock.
We did. Oh, and Mike, we were big on staying overnight. I'd forgotten these whole line of things that happened. Overnight was a big deal. And Mike and I, they used to have erector sets that were metal. And they still, we saw them down in Branson. I don't know if they were metal or as elaborate. And you could build bridges, and no wonder we don't have any engineers. We don't let kids build stuff. Well, we do. They get to build with plastic straws because they're safe. But an erector deal taught you can cut the heck out of yourself, or when you're tightening a nut, you can get a blood blister. I mean, they do the things you need to know as an engineer.
Plus, they came with a motor.
The motor, that was the key.
For a crane and stuff.
And so, I don't know why we began to get, it was an outgrowth of the Army deal, these battles with erector sets. And we would put blades. The motor was designed, you turn the electric motor, and you could turn it on for a couple seconds, and if you had a pulley, it'd pull up the elevator in the tower you built. But we started fastening blades on them to make them into like cutting machines. And Mike was down there one night, and I went and got an extension cord, because we figured at 6 feet you could always stay out of the way of the guy trying to get you. I got an extension cord, chased him through the house. It was like, Jason, I only needed a hockey mask. Remember me chasing you with that? The next time he came down, he said, no more extension cords.
Let me tell you another story while we're talking about staying all night. We had a really rich dinner of some kind, staying all night with you one night, and I got really sick to my stomach. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I didn't tell Greg anything, but I went in the bathroom and had to throw up. And it was coming out of both ends, being sick. And I tried to clean up the best I could, but I know I didn't get it all. It was all over the bathroom. And I just went home. You guys didn't know where I was the next morning, but you probably saw.
I don't remember that.
When you went in the bathroom, you probably knew it was.
You know, those staying all night stories, there's a couple others I remember. One, again, the Army stuff, we decided we would paint our tanks. We had German Panzers and Stalin, what were those called? What were the Stalin tanks? World War I.
But they were blood red.
Yeah, anyway, we're painting them, and we're putting them on a mosaic because we wanted realism, so we had poster board. And we paint roads and stuff on there. We decided we needed some gravel to make it realistic. So we're downstairs, we open the back door, we're going out in the street and bringing gravel into the house and pouring it all in there. My dad came down and he goes, what are you guys shoveling gravel in the house for? Which seemed, I guess, like a logical question if you're a dad. You remember that? He was distressed. We were loading the basement up with gravel for our tanks. But the other one I thought of, this is a story that could have been tragedy. Mike and Jim were staying all night. We were swimming on the swim team, and the swim team practices would start at like 8 in the morning. We always said it's when we went and broke the ice, like it frozen over overnight because it was so cold.
It was cold.
And they were staying, and all three of us are sleeping in a double bed. It's like, what do you think, 4th grade, 5th grade? We're 11, 12 swimmers, so probably 5th or 6th. Anyway, I got up, and I had this bad headache, and I tried to go into the bathroom, and I sort of fell over against the wall. And I came back in, and I laid down, and I was moaning or whatever, and then, Mo, were you the next one went in there?
I went in, I'll tell my part, I went in to go to the bathroom too, and I remember going to the bathroom, and then the next thing I remember is my head was down on the floor by the toilet, looking at the ceiling. I actually passed out. So
and you made it back to the bed.
I wobbled back to bed.
And told us, and then Jim was afraid to get up to go to the bathroom.
Because both of us had trouble getting back to bed. But
So
nothing occurred to us that anything could be wrong.
Well, we didn't know. So we yelled down the hall to my parents, we're not feeling well, we're not going to go to...
Well, your dad came in.
Or maybe he did. We said, we're not going to go to swimming practice.
He
We said,
came in and wanted to know if we're going because your mother and I aren't feeling well.
yeah, and so, and then I don't know if it's him or mom then decided that everybody's sick. I don't know if they thought it was food poisoning. She went and called our doctor, a family doctor, which at those times you could actually call and they pick up the phone and at home. And his wife answered and immediately said, Betty, there's something wrong, get out of the house. And my sister was there and my 2 brothers, and we all to get out of the house. My mom passed out and my brother Bill drug her out. She had stopped breathing and got her breathing mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
And then I remember going downstairs and Roy had passed out, and Bill said, grab a foot. And so we're dragging him, and his head's hitting the ground. And I said, his head's hitting the ground. I remember Bill saying, it's only Roy. And we dragged him out the back door. And it turned out,
you guys stopped, it went off.
well, that one, we don't have another card, but this one's still going, so we'll
Yeah,
just
this
get a
will go
copy.
for a while.
Anyway, so we all went to the hospital. I found out then that no cars get out of the way of ambulances.
Yeah.
And everybody was okay. And
So somebody,
it was
the doctor's wife called it.
Yeah, it was carbon monoxide poisoning. We'd been awarded, not awarded, you know, if you were all gas, they gave you a gold key gas home or whatever, and they tore it all out and we changed to all electric. Nobody ever took fault for it, but the gas company paid for redoing the whole house. And I always remember there had been one of those 2-gallon deals clear of red Kool-Aid on the counter, and it had turned clear, and I kept always saying, the Kool-Aid's changed, you know, some chemical reaction has happened, and nobody'd ever pay attention to me about it. Nowadays, I know that'd be a big factor, you know, in a lawsuit. But we all made it. We lived in a hotel for 3 weeks while
That's
they did
right,
it.
yeah.
And then I went to swim practice from the hotel, but all of us could have died. Everybody could have died. It was
Yeah, they said it was a matter of minutes.
yeah, it was
And we wouldn't be telling these stories.
well, the video would have been a lot shorter. It would have stopped after the 1st grade, you know, if they had video in those days. Those were eventful years. I mean, that's just first 6 years of class.
We have to tell.
Wait a second, she wants
Can we
to.
take a little break so I can?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be right back.
Cut. If you're at the funeral, it's a restroom break.
You guys want to?
We have to revert back a little now.
Okay, you're remembering some more
All
stuff?
right.
You want something else to drink from?
No, I'm fine.
Let's see, where were we?
Where were we going back to? We're trying to cover early years.
Did we
Well-
stop, you didn't stop me, or did you?
We were going to talk, I think, about some of the way that we used property. We talked about the Chicago Bears, and I was, off camera, I was talking about, we used to watch the
Off-camera.
Boston Celtics. Basically, we only got 2 things. You always saw Wilt Chamberlain playing in the Boston Celtics, and they were always at Boston Garden, and they had a checkerboard sort of court, and we decided we liked that, so we got pieces of plywood and laid them out in Jim Turner's side yard. Killed all the grass, but it didn't bother us. And we only liked to dunk because the ball wouldn't bounce, and we'd play Boston Celtics. Actually, we'd call up and say, hey Mo, you want to go play some Boston Celtics? And we'd go down and play. Even if Turner wasn't around, we'd play basketball in their yard, killing their grass.
Yeah, and the whole thing was, we had a short goal, tied, hooked onto their fence. So we could dunk on it, that we're infatuated with dunks.
we were infatuated